Have you ever felt this? That restlessness in your soul that wakes you in the middle of the night, when the world is silent and you're completely alone with your thoughts and worries. The clock, with its cold light, strikes 3 a.m. A mysterious hour, which many call the hour of the wolf, the hour of darkness. But what if I told you that for thousands of people around the world, this is the hour of a powerful revelation? A moment of profound connection that is transforming lives in ways that science and logic can't explain. And that there is the mystery of the 3 a.m. prayer that is changing lives around the world. I saw this happen to a friend, and his story is so surreal that had I not witnessed it, I myself wouldn't have believed it. The story begins with Marcos. Marcos was a history teacher at a public school, a man of unshakable faith, but his salary always seemed to disappear before the end of the month. His life was an impossible equation. The rent, the car that was breaking down, his son's private school expenses. His wife Camilla worked hard, but her salary wasn't enough either. The house, once filled with laughter and the smell of baking cakes, was now filled with a heavy silence. A silence of worry. They lived by a faith that seemed to find no echo in reality. Marcos prayed, on his knees, with tears. He cried out for a better life, for prosperity, for a blessing that would free them from that suffocating scarcity. But the answer never came. Marcos's anguish began to manifest itself physically. He couldn't sleep anymore. And ironically, he always woke up at the same time. 3 a.m. At first, it was a coincidence. Then, it became torture. He would get up, drink a glass of water, look out the window at the dark, empty street, and feel a lump in his throat. He tried to go back to sleep, but his mind was in a whirlwind of debts, plans that never came to fruition, a future that seemed increasingly bleak. One night, the anguish was so great that he knelt right there on the cold floor of his room. He didn't pray for anything. He no longer had the strength to ask. He just poured it out. God, he whispered, I can't take it anymore. I'm exhausted. I know you have a plan, I know it, but I can't see it, I can't find it. I'm a failure. My family is suffering and I can't do anything about it. I don't understand. What is my purpose? Where do I belong? He stood there for long minutes, feeling the cold dampness of the floor, his heart breaking. The silence was so heavy it seemed to have a texture, and it was in this silence, in this emptiness, that something different happened. It wasn't an audible voice. It was a thought, a memory. He remembered a biblical passage he had read years ago, but had never truly understood. A passage that spoke of divine wisdom and the power of knowing God's heart. And along with this memory came a name, the name of a student, Pedro. Pedro had been a student of Marcos for 10 years and was fascinated by history. Marcos had been the one to encourage him to pursue this career, but Pedro had disappeared from his life. That name, in the middle of the night, seemed completely random. Insane even, but what did he have to lose? Marcos, his heart a mix of skepticism and hope, did something he'd never done before. He grabbed his phone, turned on the screen light, and, in the chill of the early morning, searched for Pedro on social media. And there he was. Pedro, whom Marcos remembered as a shy teenager with a passion for history, had become a successful entrepreneur, owner of a digital content company. From that moment on, Marcos's life changed. But not in the way he expected. It wasn't a miracle of money falling from the sky. It was a miracle of purpose. The mystery of the 3 a.m. prayer wasn't about asking, but about listening. The silence of dawn was the moment when God's voice, which is subtle, can be heard without the distraction of the world. His restlessness was, in fact, a calling. He wrote a message to Peter, an honest, straightforward message. He explained his situation and the feeling that God had led him to contact him. Peter, upon reading the message, was deeply touched. He explained that his passion for history, incited by Mark, had become the engine of his success. He had built an empire of content, but he felt something was missing. He lacked the soul, the genuine passion of a true historian. Pedro made Marcos a proposal that seemed like a dream. He hired him to create a series of online history courses with complete creative freedom. The salary? It was 3 times what he earned as a teacher. At first, Marcos was reluctant. He didn't see himself as a content producer. He was a teacher, but Pedro encouraged him, saying that his calling was teaching and the format was just a detail. Marcos accepted the challenge. He dedicated himself body and soul to the project, with the same passion he had for his teaching. The first course he launched on the great civilizations became a resounding success. With each sale, with each new student, he felt he was fulfilling his true purpose. And the money? Money came as a consequence, not as an objective. He not only paid off his debts, but also invested in a studio for his wife, who had a talent for crafts, and together they prospered. Marcos understood that his problem wasn't a lack of faith, but a lack of alignment. He was praying for money, while God was trying to show him his purpose. Financial prosperity, he discovered, is not the goal, but the reward for walking in the divine plan. The mystery of the 3 a.m. Prayer isn't about the hour, it's about surrender, it's about vulnerability, it's about the courage to silence the noise of the world and the noise of your own fears to hear the whisper of God, who is always trying to guide you to your true destiny. The restlessness in your soul is the signal, the call for you to wake up, surrender, and be ready to listen. Do you believe this really happened? Have you ever experienced something similar? If Marcos's story touched you, if you feel you need a new kind of power in your life, it's no coincidence that you've reached the end of this video. This is your calling. I invite you to join us. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos, and leave your comment below. I trust in silence. Share this video with someone who needs new hope. Because when we share the blessing, it multiplies. And I'll see you in the next video.